While migrants continue to pour into the United States, critics of the president maintain that nothing can be done because a wall's useless. CNN's Brian Karem recently ranted about the futility of mankind's oldest defensive mechanism.
This whole issue is a crock from start to finish. He picked it up on the campaign trail as something to appease the masses and play to his base. It's not going to stop terrorism. It's not going to be 2,000 miles long as originally planned. It's not going to be see-through. It's not going to be eco-friendly. It's not going to be slats or heads on pikes or a beaded curtain or anything else. You can't wall that border.
Jimmy Kimmel, meanwhile, has been ridiculing Americans who are so desperate for a secure border, they've been willing to donate to a GoFundMe campaign for it.
This Trump supporter, a guy named Brian Kolfage, started a GoFundMe campaign to raise $1 billion for the wall. He launched it on Sunday. It's already up to almost $9 million. This is what people do with their disposable income when they don't have loans from college to pay off. Donating money for a wall that will never exist. It's like starting a college fund for Harry Potter. A more useful thing to do with your money would be to go outside and feed it to a bird. But you do have to admire the sacrifice they're making. I mean, a lot of these people are dipping into their meth money for this.
Got it. Meth heads for national security. Thank you, Jimmy. So would a wall work or not? Jason Piccolo is a former special agent and supervisor with the Department of Homeland Security, and he joins us now. Everybody's mocking this. We've had Nancy Pelosi doing her beaded curtain line. At this stage, I would welcome a 2,000-mile beaded curtain along the southern border. It would show a certain kind of resolve. But are these critics right that this thing doesn't work, doesn't make any difference, complete waste of time?
No, it'll work. Now, the border is 2,000 miles long, and you won't be able to actually wall the whole border, but that'll create choke points or points where we could actually apprehend the immigrants coming in. So, yeah, yes, a wall would work.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is that if you look at up on the northern border, where there's far fewer people coming across, there's not caravans massing on the 49th parallel, and yet the United States government has actually put physical barricades in a lot of cross-border towns on the Canadian border, presumably because it works there. So why would it not work on the Mexican border?
Walls work. They do. Now, when I worked on a border, the border was simply a strand of fence in some areas, like a strand of wire. Now you have narco-traffickers coming across that same area. You have economic migrants. It's open. The whole border is pretty much open except for, you know, a few miles here and there.
When you say it's open, because most people who cross international frontiers legitimately will do so at big border posts. But you're saying that even though we talk about this incessantly, there are actually 100-mile stretches where people can actually just walk into the United States, a country that's supposedly been on orange alert for 17 years.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I was on the DHS's human smuggling cell back in 2015, and we tracked human smuggling corridors coming up from South America. Now, you do have special interest aliens transiting into South America, into Brazil, and traveling up those same routes that the economic migrants and the narco-traffickers are using. So anybody can come and go through that border.
So you mean when you say special interest aliens, you mean that potential jihadists have figured out, they look at what's on their TV screens on the Rio Grande and figure that instead of trying to fly to JFK, you might as well just go to Latin America and walk into the country.
You can. The border is open. Now, I detailed out in Ajo, Arizona at one time back in the early 2000s, and it was literally one strand of barbed wire. So yes, anybody could walk across that border with nefarious intent or with coming here for economic migration.
A strand of barbed wire, that seems even more useless than the beaded curtain. Jason, thank you for that, and thank you for the eyewitness testimony on that southern border. I'm not sure people actually visualize it quite the way you know it.